That's what's going on. Oh, look at that. What is that? Then when we rotate it to this position, it goes all the way forward. And I did that before we took it apart, and the cocking piece would not go all the way forward.
Hi, and welcome to Over the Gunsmith's Shoulder. I'm Gene Kelly, president of the American Gunsmithing Institute, and in this segment, Master Gunsmith Ken Brooks is going to walk you step by step through a gunsmithing repair. You're going to learn a lot. And if you'd like to learn to be a certified professional gunsmith, then go to AmericanGunsmithingInstitute.com and request an information package. Now let's learn from Ken.
Well, you guys are spying over my shoulder again. Today we've got a Mossberg MVP in 223-556. And the complaint is, the tag says that it misfires and fails to cock. So I'm going to take the magazine out, it's empty. Double check our chamber, make sure that it's empty. And let's see what's going on. Fails to cock. Yeah, I don't know, cocking piece is there. Ooh, but it only falls about 1/16 of an inch. What is going on here? So let's see what we got going on here. Well, what is going on here? Why won't that? There we go. Well, right off the bat, the firing pin can't stick out through the... Oh, now it can. Did you guys see that piece of crap fall out? Because I'm not seeing anything here. But now, obviously... Well, just off the quick off the cuff, I would say that that's what's going on. Oh, look at that. What is that? I don't know what that is. That might have actually been what it was that came out of there. Although it wouldn't have fell on that. I thought it fell on the carpet down here. I'm not seeing anything right now. It wasn't very big. And I'm surprised I saw it. My eyesight's going. But the firing pin definitely protrudes. So let's try and... Well, just for fun, because I don't know, I am going to run a clean patch through the bolt body. Now I'm not seeing any debris. I didn't see any debris when I looked down the bolt either, but I like to just normal gun oil or gunk. All right, so let's put our bolt and our cam or our bolt head pin back together. Let's slide. Boy, I tell you what I don't like about this one, this particular one, is, you know what, I'm going to pull this apart real quick. So the bolt head goes in here, this goes down through and holds the bolt head to the body. The firing pin comes through here. This lug right here fits through that groove, and then rotates around. I should be able to do it just like that. Rotates to there. Then when we rotate it to this position, it goes all the way forward. And I did that before we took it apart, and the cocking piece would not go all the way forward. So, oh, come on, I'm losing my grip. Don't call me Bob. In Bob's later years, he lost his grip, and he used to always tell me, "It's coming for you, it's coming for you." Of course, we'd always tease each other back and forth. I'm like, no, you're just old. But no, it's coming for me. Sometimes I just can't grip with as much force. It's the end of the day. I'll use that as an excuse. I'm wore out from all the massive amounts of whatever that I've been doing all day, gunsmithing. And the belittlement of Robert. I've had some crying and whining and gnashing of teeth and clenching of fists over the stress of my head being in the way of the camera. And so my fingers are wore out. That's the story I'm sticking with. No, in all seriousness, sometimes it's hard to grip the bolt sleeve and the cocking cam. And the cocking cam still has most of its bluing on there, so it's a high friction surface. I'm not making an excuse for myself. I'm just explaining that sometimes you can grab these and just twist them. Sometimes you can't. And right now I'm just weak enough to where I cannot. So I'm sliding the firing pin cocking piece assembly bolt plug back into the bolt, rotate it around. The nose of the cocking piece enters that notch. And now I'm going to rotate it around to where the firing pin goes forward. See how far below the back of the bolt plug we are at this point. And you can see that the firing pin does protrude. And just looking at it, I can tell that it's got enough protrusion. I mean, I could measure it, but I just know. So, all right, now, I'm not sure. Oh, hey, you know what? I could grab it that time. I did it a little different. I could twist it. So now we're back to being cocked. I want to put this back in the gun and see what we come up with. Here's the cocking piece, not quite flush with the back of the bolt plug or bolt sleeve, but close. But remember when we pulled the trigger before, it only fell like 1/16 of an inch. Looky there. And it sounds like it's going to fire. So, I really would like to know what was inside that bolt. I saw something. Now there's a little piece of crud there. There's a little piece of something there. Now granted, I don't know that this is what's from this one. You know, it's not like I vacuum this between each gun we do. That's too far away. But something fell out. And then there was some of that other stuff that was on the bolt. That right there was on the back of that bolt lug. It was binding that firing pin. So that's one of the reasons that I swabbed out the bolt body, looked down in the bolt head where the firing pin fit, and we can see that it's working at this point. Something was going on. So their misfires and fails to cock was because they'd cock it and then they pull trigger and it would fall that little bit, and they're like, well, it's not cocking, it's not doing its job. But it was cocking all the way. It wasn't falling the full distance. So I don't think I need to, let's double check our safety. Trigger's blocked. Yeah, I don't think I even need to take the trigger apart. There's a little bit of creep, so the trigger is safe. Again, I'm depressing that center piece, that center safety, and then I can watch that trigger move. So we have creep, so creep means that we've got engagement of our Sear on our trigger. It's sounding correct. I'm probably going to go test fire this one at this point to make sure. We've wiped it out. Something did come out of the bolt, so there was some debris in there. Kind of a quick fix. I think I'm going to pull that apart one more time real quick, just to double check. That lug is awful freaking tight right there, and I don't like that. I actually think it might be this spring catching on part of the bolt body. But our firing pin fits through there. There's nothing in that hole. Nothing in that hole. I'll run a pipe cleaner through it just to alleviate anybody's concern. But definitely before, when I went to slide this on, because I wanted to see how far out's the firing pin stick, and it wouldn't even come out. I'm like, what the heck? And that's when I pulled it out, and I saw something fall. I wish, dang it. It wasn't very big, but... So see, there's some crud right there. And that could have been it, falling off, because again, I pulled this off and it fell out. Everything is working now. So that's one of the most frustrating things. It's like you take your car to the auto mechanic and say, hey, it won't start. And they jump in and start it and stop it, 40 times while you're standing there and you're like, crap. Same thing with the guns in here, It's like, well, it's working now. Now, it wasn't, so we definitely know that something was up, but as of right now, it's doing what it's supposed to. Quick and easy fix, anyway. I will go shoot this. I'll run, I don't know, 10 or 15 rounds through this to confirm, and probably just give the customer the ammo. Hey, here it is. These are the ones I shot in it. I want to be able to double check the firing pin indent, make sure that there's enough energy there. I'll probably shoot a couple different varieties of ammunition. The gun is cocking. They said it misfires and it fails to cock, and I think that they were just misinterpreting what was going on. It cocked every time. It wouldn't allow the striker to fall fully, so they didn't think it was cocking. But it was when I picked it up, and I've looked at it a couple times before we jumped on camera. I didn't do any work. I just looked at it and went, well, it's cocking. I know it's cocking. So again, not a whole lot on this one. I apologize, but sometimes that's it. And the takeaway, or one of the takeaways from something like this is, you don't always have to charge every customer $100. If I give this back to them and tell them, hey, I took your bolt apart and something fell out, and I double checked everything, made sure everything worked right, went and test fired, and charge them an inexpensive amount, they're going to go, oh, hey, cool, thank you. And then they'll come back with the next gun they've got that doesn't work. So, it's not like you got to make $1 million off of every gun to stay in business. So, all right, this one's so short, it'll probably be a bonus. We'll see. I'll let the headache behind the camera determine that stuff. We'll catch you guys later.
If you want to learn real gunsmithing and see more videos like this, be sure and like and subscribe so you don't miss out. If you're interested in training to be a real gunsmith, go check out the American Gunsmithing Institute.com, or for your own firearms training, AmericanGunsmith.com.